first game could be very, very significant in this series, but certainly both teams have the potential to win as both comps, because I don't think the comp necessarily decides it in these particular matchups.
All right.
Yeah, even with God Comp versus LSD, like sometimes the God Comp can make healer swaps and pull victories by surprise. So even that matchup can sometimes go to the God Comp. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be really interesting, and it's going to be nice to see all the maps played out, because they can take big advantages, like we saw with the LSD on Blade's Edge, in their favor with their composition. So the map selection could also forecast what the teams are planning. But if I were the Yacht Boys, I would definitely be expecting the Mage Ellie comp, since they 3-0'd Minpoike's team.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point.
The teams are asking whether they're gonna have to run 2 series, but just to clarify, like under this format, we want to make the finals as exciting as possible. So we do just offer that one best of 7. There's no particular upper bracket final advantage as there have been in previous tournaments, because it does just make it so exciting for us to watch as viewers, and it makes it so intense for them to play as well as the players. If you just have to do that one series and everything's on the line in this best of 7, one team doesn't have to hold back a little bit and think, oh well, if we lose this series, there's another series coming. I mean, this is all to play for. It's money. Basically, the way the format is you get money or you don't get money based on whether you win this series. So there's a lot to play for. We can expect some quite high level play from these players.
Yeah. That being said, the lower bracket teams actually do have to play one additional best of 5 series compared to the upper bracket team. So there is that slight advantage. But in this case, it was rather a big advantage, considering the fight that Speechless put up against Trollargan to get to the finals here. I mean, that was a crazy lower bracket semifinals, a crazy 3-2 series. So Trollargan, though, they have fought their way through that lower bracket to get to this point. And the Yacht Boys went all the way through that upper bracket, and they only dropped a single, is that right? They only dropped a single round, and that was to We Win Next, the qualifier team, the qualifier RMP. So Trollargan, they got their work cut out for them, man, going here into the finals. It's one best of 7 series, and I can't wait to jump right into it. That being said, the Yacht Boys, you know, they made it to the finals, and they actually got to watch their competitors play multiple series. So they actually did get that opportunity to watch their competitors and study them a little bit before competing up against them, to be able to get that. And Trollargan, they're coming right out of the fire pan and into the fire, because they literally just won against Speechless in such a close series, and now they're going right into the finals. I mean, they got to be feeling a little bit of fatigue here at this point, but the queue is ready. The first map of the series is here, and it is in the Grand Arena. I'll see you all in a hot minute. Alright, here we go. It is the finals. The first game of this best of 7 series is here, and the Yacht Boys, they're going to be running with their RMD composition going up against Trollargan. Maybe that sounds better? Is it Trollargan?
Maybe.
Because I don't know. Someone actually said in chat, we should just call them Team Troll. But they're going to be running with their patented Frost Mage Elemental Shaman Resto Druid composition, and here we go. The gates have opened.
Yeah, I think the playstyle for the mage is like Raikou is playing really aggressively, like blocking to get CC and committing their damage to Zpi, and it didn't work out. So the Yacht Boys have the advantage of seeing that strategy not work. So I'm curious to see how Baba is going to play this matchup.
Yeah, I think the Yacht Boys do have that advantage of having seen the 3-0 that we saw earlier from this Ellie Mage against a different RMD of incredibly high caliber. But at the same time, if you're Trollargan, you got to be pretty confident. Yeah, I mean, you've just beaten one of the best RMDs 3-0. You're against another one who have obviously nothing to be laughed at. These guys have shown what their strength is, having beaten the Turbo Clee 3-0 just now. But it looks like the game's opening up. They don't get the CC onto Miley. Well stopped. Lixie won't get too much going, and that's a good start for the RMD, who have also forced the Sham Rage. The blind is onto Fnobbers. Surely he's going to trinket that. He does trinket Hienes's. A lot of cooldowns forced onto Trolljarg, and they haven't forced too much onto the Yacht Boys, though. They really need to start getting some CC over onto Miley. A good win share onto the arcane school of Gelu Baba means that he won't be doing too much right now, but they've already forced the cooldowns. The Sham Rage and the Trinket being forced from Trolljarg means that they have a good opportunity to set up some nice damage next setup.
Yeah, Gelu is down to half HP right now. A lot of damage following it up. If Zipai gets any procs, it's surely going to be a block, and Gelu has to trade that out. They did get a sheep on Miley, but it's breaking to the Earthquake, so maybe a bit of a misplaced Earthquake is going to allow Miley to get some heal over time effects rolling on his team. We see Fnobbers actually sitting down for a drink. Interesting, they decided to go for that very early. Zipai caught in a smoke bomb right now, actually was forced to trinket and run outside of it. With no CC on the Fnobbers, he should be able to stabilize Zipai here very shortly. We see Gelu using his Cold Snap to reset his block, as there is a lot of damage following it up onto him. Zipai is very relentless in this specific series. Zipai now popping his Ascendant, switching the pressure onto Thasia, and Thasia's on the run. Miley pulling back, Gelu as well behind the pillar. Zipai dropping an Earthquake, trying to prevent them from resetting completely. We can see a Blizzard from Lixie as well to try and slow down their reset. But Zipai's now kind of caught in the open. This gouge is surely going to set up a kidney shot, but a defensive polymorph is kind of stalling it out for a couple seconds. We see deep freezes onto both druids. They're following it up with the sheep, so now it's a 2v2 between the DPS, and it seems like Zipai is the one on the back foot. He's down to 60% HP. He's going for a cheeky hex onto Gelu there. He's going to get it, but Miley dispels that instantly. They're switching some pressure onto Thasia, but he's already on the pillar. I don't think they're going to get too much done, and the Oppo seem to be playing a very defensive game.
Yeah, this game is completely different to the RMD games we saw earlier. The Yacht Boys playing a lot more conservative. Gelu never using any offensive blocks. Miley sitting a lot further back, not pushing him for the Cyclone so much, but definitely keeping on top of the healing, as we do see the cross CC. They're swapping over onto Thessia, but a nice trinket early. He identifies the potential damage coming from this team, and he puts a blind onto Fnobbers. Looks like Fnobbers actually trying to hold on to this despite the image coming out from Thessia. This could be a mistake if they could follow it up. There's the sap. They do have Trinket available, but Zipai is doing a brilliant job of running away from Thessia, and Thessia has so many offensive cooldowns popped right now. It's going to be really frustrating for him if they can't get it. He's now connecting onto Zipai. Fnobbers still sitting in that CC. The DR Bash, they're going for the kill here. Sham Rage is available in 1 second, but Fnobbers actually, his greed pays off. Zipai didn't even come close to dying there, costing them only the NS and the Ironbark, and now that you have to look at what they're doing offensively. Miley forced into that skin, and Gelu dropping so low. There's the second Ice Block. Huge damage count coming out from Lixie and Lockbetter, and they're so far ahead at this point. There's no blocks or trinket available from the Yacht Boys. They basically have no cooldowns. Anyone could die on their team.
Yeah, Trolljarg are doing a great job offensively here. They're just trying to get out of line of sight, but with no trinket, no barkskin, and no blocks remaining, Trolljarg basically have to throw the game, I think, at this point to lose. Zipai has all of his defensive arsenal to go. It seems like they're setting up on Lixie here, but he should be able to blink, I believe, out of the kidney shot. He's just going to trinket instead and counterspell any incoming CC. Well done. He's interrupted the chain, and now they can rotate the pressure in their favor. A lot of damage onto Gelu. A full clone onto Miley. This could easily be the game. Gelu's trying to get out of line of sight, but they nice road sounds actually from Thasia are preventing quite a bit of damage onto Baba, and I think Thasia might have saved him right there. We see Descendants now out from Zipai. He's just going to switch the pressure onto Thasia, and the Outboys are still on the run, but how much longer can they keep this up? They're really exhausting all of their resources to stay alive in this game. We see Lixie moving in. There's the Cone of Cold rooting everybody up. Lixie just spamming out the Frostbolts, trying to do as much damage as possible. We see a full bash on Zipai. Are they going to go for a clone? It seems like they're actually swapping onto Miley with this deep freeze. We see a defensive smoke bomb drop to save him. That's almost not even enough, but that smoke bomb was critical for Miley's survival. He would not have made it, and Thasia is really being the MVP right now for the Yacht Boys.
Yeah, Thessia is just, the reason he's such an outstanding rogue is because he identifies these situations where his team needs him so much. They might need him again here. It looks like Gelu's dropping low, but it looks like he's okay. And he's saved his team twice now with that smoke bomb and the triple grow just before that. He's going offensive, a slight overlap there, but they do get the blind, and Lixie's in a bit of trouble here. That is an ice block force from him, but he does have another one. They should be okay for now. They need to be looking offensively. Now Gelu has recovered. They do have all 3 trinkets available for the Yacht Boys, and an ice block thanks to Thessia's brilliant defensive plays in the last few minutes. It means that they can now be looking offensive. They now have those defensive cooldowns back, that they can do these swaps to Lixie. And we said even in the previous series that we might want to see Lixie being the target of choice a little bit more for this RMD. And we see a lot of offensive cooldowns being popped by Thessia now. Here comes the Adrenaline Rush. He does have that killing spree available, but can he get anything done with it? Nice shutdown, a nice Nova, and the sheep onto Gelu Baba is going to slow down the Yacht Boys in their tracks. but they do use the deep freeze on Miley and not get any follow-up. And now Fnobus is putting stuff over. The Leaky is in a lot of trouble here. The trinket comes out from Fnobus. We'll keep him alive for now, but they're going through the cooldowns quite efficiently. The Yacht Boys are starting to get ahead now.
Yeah, they got a double trinket. Zpi and Fnobbers chose to remove the CC, but they're setting up onto Miley. He's really not responding in time. He trinkets, he goes for the Barkskin ENSs, but it barely heals them for anything. He's going to recover, and you know, he tried to be greedy, but they ended up having to overuse cooldowns to survive that. But they're switching the pressure onto Baba. He's down to 23%. He's forced to block. We see Stasia in this counter aggression onto Leaksy. Leaksy has one more block, and suddenly the game is turned around, and there's no more blocks remaining for Leaksy. There's no trinket on Fnobbers. There's no trinket on Zpi. A good chain of CC is going on to Fnobbers right now. If Miley can get a clone, they might be able to end it. I think they interrupted on that clone. Really well done to break up the chain. That could have easily been Leaksy's life. We see Thasia getting rooted up, not able to really connect onto anything right now. He doesn't want to use that cloak aggressively, as he is the only member in the open at the moment right now, just silencing Zpi. We see a silence onto Leaksy now as well. Deep Freeze is available for Baba. Both of these mages could be in a lot of trouble moving forward in this match. Dampening is starting to stack up, so all of the healing is going to be less and less as time moves on. We see Earthquake down for Zpi. He's trying to get ready. Miley's in position. We see a full bash on Thasia. I'd almost like to just see him trinket and go aggressive here. Deep freeze over on Fnobbers, but a deep freeze from Leaksy onto Gelu stops the sheep. Interesting play from Leaksy to break up the chain, but they're going to follow it up with a blind, and Fnobbers has no trinket, and there are no blocks remaining. I think somehow Yacht Boys have turned this game around. Leaksy's just on the run. He actually got an invisibility off. He's in stealth right now, completely outplaying the Yacht Boys and staying alive.
Really well played by Leaksy. That was actually on the image from Thessia as well. Excellent novas and peels for himself. He's just playing so well to stay alive in these situations. Both teams basically have no cooldowns available, and now we see Miley dropping low. He's in the full defense. He's down to 10%. He might just go down through the skin. The Swiftman NS comes out, barely keeping him alive. He's down to 30% still, though. They're still just tunneling him down. Zipa just chasing him. Excellent peels from Thessia. Once again, I feel like I've said that too many times today. Thessia just being the saving grace for his team. Adrenaline rush coming out from him, but nice shutdown from Leaksy. Both these teams playing so accurately defensively, but Miley's mana is low, and he has no real cooldowns. The trinket is up soon, though. That is one saving grace. As is Leaksy's block. Blocks up in 6 seconds, and oh my goodness, the damage into Gelu Baba. It looks like he's going to top block. Is he going to get it? The bomb comes out. He does get the snap off. He's going to be able to use that block. Surely he does use it. Both teams have basically zero cooldowns still, though. This could really go either way.
Yeah, but Miley has no mana. If Zpi can just do damage right now, they could easily end it. There's no cloak on Thasia. There's no blocks for Gelo. We see a lot of damage on Thasia. Miley uses the Iron Bark. I don't think that's going to be enough. Leaksy follows up. He's down to 18%. Surely he's going to go down. He tries to go for the defensive kidney shot onto Leaksy, but Leaksy blinks out. We see Thasia shadow stepping back defensively, but Miley just has no mana. I don't know how he's going to keep Thasia alive. He's still doing it somehow at 20% HP. They've managed to get some CC onto Fnobbers. They're trying to get a setup over onto Leaksy. Leaksy actually has no more blocks remaining either. If they can chain this momentum, maybe create a kill opportunity for themselves, they just can't. Miley's trying to keep his team alive with nothing left in terms of mana. We see defensive clones right now onto Leaksy. The game is temporarily paused, but here's the deep freeze onto Miley. Leaksy is looking to try and end the game, but a kidney shot will slow it down. We see the Cloak of Shadows coming out for Thasia. They're trying to counter pressure Leaksy. There are no more blocks. There's a full blind onto Fnobbers, and I think the Yacht Boys might turn this around. Zpies is trying to say no. He's just off healing for his life, but he gets sheeped up on the off heal. We see defensive sheeps up from Leaksy. He actually does a sneaky sheep swap over onto Miley, forcing Miley to trinket. Thasia is still under fire. Miley has no mana left. He's going to use the Iron Bark. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Zpies looking to finish him off, but they lock him on the Lava Burst, and that lockout on the Lava Burst might buy him a few seconds to stay alive. Ice Nova connects, and somehow Thasia is still alive at 27% HP. Full clone over onto Miley. Thasia's on the run. He's trying to get out of line of sight. He goes for the restealth. He's got the Vanish. They're trying to make a play on a Leaksy. They've got one more chance to kill Leaksy, and if they don't do it, surely they're going to lose here. The next deep freeze on the Fnobbers has to land. Thasia is somehow still alive in this match. Gelo's still with no blocks, and I don't know how the Yacht Boys are doing this.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it either. The Troyagan, the fact that they survived that last go, though, means they're so far ahead now. Fnobbers has that trinket available. There's no mana on Miley, but that's been true for a good 5 minutes now, and he's still keeping his team alive. Gelu Baba down to 40%, Thessia down to 50%. The cloak is still not available. There's no blocks for 30 seconds. If they can live that 30 seconds, they do have a lot of defensive cooldowns available, but that's a big if. Fnobbers now caught in that full sheep. He does have trinket available. Leaksy also has a block coming up in around 40 seconds. Gelu's in so much trouble, though, down to 40%. They're just hugging the pillar. Thessia and Gelu are so scared for their lives right now, and Miley really, he just can't get a drink. Thessia's down to 6%. Surely he's going to go down here, and he does go down. That's game one to Troyagan in a convincing manner, but that game was so close.
Wow. Unbelievable plays coming out from both of these teams. The Yacht Boys, what the heck? They should be on that documentary, I Shouldn't Be Alive, because there were so many opportunities in that entire game where I just thought that they were just donezo. But they really did a great job, appealing for one another to be able to get to get to that point in the game. Something to note is that throughout that game, Miley was looking for so many clones, was shut down so many times, and I think that's a big reason to why you see those opportunities where Miley just like dips down to no health out of nowhere. But I think at the same time, Miley needs to go in. He needs to be there to get that additional CC for his team because of the amount of stops that Trolljaegern has. But this is a best-of-7 series. The Yacht Boys aren't out of it yet, as Game 1 goes to Trolljaegern. But man, oh man, if that first game is any sort of foreshadowing of what it is that we can expect going into more games of this series, I am super stoked to see what happens next.
I'm really interested to see the matchup as well. The Yacht Boys had a couple of opportunities where they could get a kill, but Leaxy's got that invisibility off. Like, it's these little tiny things that they did to be able to stay alive. Again, like, the game dictates that they should be dead, and then they find a way to not be dead. And
Yeah.
it's the little creative things that they do in those opportunities that are separating them from the best.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome to see. That's why that game went so long, because every time they would just find one little way to escape, a Garrote silence onto something, a kick on a lava burst, is whatever it
Oh
took
my
to stay alive for a couple more seconds to stay alive. And I think the Yacht Boys could easily turn this around.
Oh my gosh.
It was so close for them to get away.
We actually just got a $500 donation from Metaphor Underbog, who I believe just got us $40 away from our goal for this season. So thank you so much for that, Metaphor Underbog. Unbelievably generous, dude. And the message reads, "Because EU." And there you have it. We are at $1,961 out of our goal for the entire season, mind you. So it looks like we need to give ourselves a new goal because the EU community is bananas. And just a reminder, guys, that prize pool accumulation is for the final event of the entire season. There is the 500 pool throughout every single bi-weekly tournament. But the final event is going to have the biggest pool of them all, and the top 8 teams that compete throughout the season will be invited to that. So that is pretty freaking hype. We also got a whole bunch of subscribers as well. Our new subscriber, PS Hero Caveman, has subscribed. He is my 232nd subscriber. Thank you so much, Mr. Caveman, for that love and support. You get a GCD yes in my book, bro. Let's get some GCD hypes in chat for him and all the new subs of the day. We have been gaining so many subs and so many sub trains. It is pretty humbling, I have to say. But let's also get some GCD hypes in the chat for this finals. This is so far pretty freaking amazing, and I mean, getting into this next game is going to be a big deal. Both these teams, you think that we're going to be seeing any sort of composition swaps from either team?
Maybe. I mean, it's a best of 7, so they've got time to think. I mean, maybe God Comp is a better choice. Doesn't look like they want to, though. They've locked in the Rogue Mage Druid again, and they've locked in the Ellie Mage Resta Druid again, and Zeepai is really making a name for himself playing this composition. Which, I mean, it seems to be familiar on the ladder, at least for the European players. But for me, I've never seen it in a tournament, never seen it on the ladder in North America. So this is like the first time. So if anyone's in the chat and they like play an Ellie Shaman, like, what comps can I play? And it's like, Zeepai's like, you should try this.
All the comps. I'm not gonna lie. I was daydreaming a little bit about playing an Elemental Shaman after watching Zeepai so many games in this tournament just pump out so much damage. It just looks so fun. You just see like this elemental animation surround a player and their health disappears, and I'm like, I want to do that. That sounds
shooting
great.
red Hadoukens over and over and over.
Man. All right, here we go.
If any last game's anything to go on, this game should be pretty epic as well. I mean, I guess the RMD feel like they didn't necessarily have the best strategy at the start of the game. It took them a little while to get going, but once they started connecting to Leaxy, they were going through cooldowns quite fast. Maybe they think if we do this from the start of the game, we're gonna win the game. I mean, I think that's quite reasonable logic considering how close the last game was, despite them starting it up on Zeepai. Both teams just kind of chilling right now.
Chilling.
The Yacht Boys, they want their perfect opener. They're not going to rush it. They know how much money's on the line.
Well, that's smart by Leaxy. He's moved really far away from his team so that by the time the sap fades, actually chooses to just trinket the sap. I thought he was trying to outposition it. Now he's moving forward, goes for the deep freeze, lands the sheep. Both healers in CC. It's a 2v2 between the DPS right now. Baba actually chose to block to get CC, so Gelo could be behind here. Can they just burst him down? Maybe they just choose to pop some damage. He's on hypothermia. Doesn't look like they can follow it up with anything just yet. Fnaubers, though, trying to sit through the blind, doing a good job, sits through it, but now into the Garrote silence, and this can be dangerous for Zeepai. He doesn't have Shamanistic Rage. Now into the full kidney trust. Surely Fnaubers has to trinket. He's going to trinket out, uses the NS, uses the Ironbark. They will stabilize. Looks like they're swapping some pressure over to Miley. He answers that with the Bark Skin, but he does get cloned on it. Interesting little fusion of clone and bark skin, but Thasia now getting cloned up. Nice clones from Fnaubers actually overall here. Now Miley into the deep freeze on his NS. Can they purge the NS? They're looking to purge it. I think he did. Zeepai purged the NS off of Miley. Really well done. And now he does not have that cooldown to sustain his team. Everyone's still at half HP. Can they keep this momentum rolling? Nice defensive sheep from Leaksy onto Gelo, preventing his healer from getting sheep, but it doesn't matter. There's just so much damage that it doesn't matter. Zeepai and Leaksy are going to finish them off, and Troll Jargon are just looking so unstoppable.
Just that damage at the end. I don't think he had faint up at the very end, but that was insane. Like, they were trying to be the offensive team there. Zeepai didn't have his rage available, and they just, oh my goodness.
They get a holy crow in my book for that one. That was nuts. Taking a quick look at that replay. Keep an eye on Thessia's health pool as it does. I believe it was Thessia, right? It happened so fast. I'm now second-guessing myself to which target actually died, but watching that replay, this is just so exciting to me in anticipation to watch someone's health disappear. But here we go. Yeah, the cross CC polymorph going out onto Gelu Baba, and there it is. Thesa goes down with a whole bunch of damage, and Troll Jaeger, what the heck, man? They are currently 2-0 against Yacht Boys, who were nearly undefeated to this point. So this is a pretty big deal indeed. They're looking like an incredibly strong competitor, and they're probably feeling a little bit like a champion right around now because they're that much closer to becoming the first EU Pro League tournament champion. Champions, I should say, plural.
They're making such a name for themselves as these comp. I mean, Zeepai, of course, already had a huge name for himself as the LSD master back in MOP, and he's brought this new comp in now, Ellie Mage. Like, Leaksy, Fnaubers, and Zeepai, those are the names you need to remember because they're going to be a team to watch going into future tournaments for sure. This Ellie Mage just looks so dominant right now. But I mean, it's quite a new comp, so we still don't know, but a lot of European players think Shadow Play should have an advantage against it, so I'm curious to see how long it's going to take them to bring out that Shadow Play. This comp looks so difficult for them to beat as RMD right now. It's such an uphill battle, but even if they swap comp now to another one, they're 2-0 down. I think they do need to make that comp swap now, and they do have the players available, and they're very, very, very competent at their Shadow Play. It's the highest rated in Europe, so I'd love to see that come out from them now.
Oh,
yeah, I'd like to see the Shadow Play too, and they've got 2 more games to lose, so it might be worth doing. They do know what composition that Jargon will pick, as they are in the losing position. So I'd like to see the God comp see something different because it's just looking like it's such a struggle. They're going to have to play for such a long game, really, if they want to take victory. And Elemental Shaman just every once in a while has a 10% chance to instantly win. So you have to play for this long game, but the Ellie Shaman likes that because it's just longer that he gets to go, all right, 3-2-1 proc, 3-2-1 proc, 3-2-1, and then if everything crits and lines up, you get a kill. So it's a bit of a risk. I'd like to see them change comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And seeing that adaptation is always like my bread and butter. I love that. It's very new, I feel, to competitive World of Warcraft. I feel like it started, I mean, we saw multiple compositions in previous expansions, but never to this level. So it's really exciting. But I want to take a quick moment to shout out Orgathar for donating $5, and he says, for the price. Thank you so much, Orgathar, for also supporting that final prize pool. It's actually pretty crazy how much we've already raised in anticipation for this finals of the entire season in just the very first tournament. That being said, guys, we are going to be opening up the signups for the next tournament, which will happen next weekend, right after this broadcast. So if you're a competing team and you want to get right back in the action and prove that you could be here in the finals as well, make sure to sign up. That's going to be linked in chat after a little bit, but also follow us on Twitter, because that's probably going to be the best way to keep up with all of the new things that are opening up in terms of events from GCDTV. That is probably going to be the most convenient way to do that. But we also did get a new subscriber, Albic. It's ALBBIECC. Thank you so much for that subscription, man. Welcome to the team. Let's get some GCDTV hypes in chat for Albic, the new subscriber. We are 232 subs out of our 300 sub goal for that Ghost Pepper. Oh man, actually every single time I look up and I read that goal, I forget for whatever reason that that's our goal, and then it reminds me. But I'm not sad about your subscription. I'm sad about what it is I might have to do. So thank you so much for that. But looks like Dalaran Sewers is going to be the map choice going into this next game. Interesting map choice. And that, I believe that was chosen by not Troy Argan, but the Yacht Boys. So much smaller map. Still has that line of sight though. You know, ooh.
Boys, actually, it's not the Shadow Play, it's the God Comp coming out from the Yacht Boys. That's quite interesting to me. I certainly haven't seen this matchup before, but it's ultimately the Shadow Priest up against the Elemental Shaman. I think it should be quite an even match. I imagine this can go either way. I mean, the setup's probably going to be better by the Yacht Boys, but Troll Yargan probably have the more consistent damage, and they certainly have a lot more stops. So, interestingly, we see Thessia on the mage as well, rather than Galu Baba. He was, of course, the rogue in the RMD, so these players showing their ability to multi-class. Melee, of course, has that paladin available to him as well, but this should be a really exciting match, and the fact they've opted for this, I wonder if they've played it on ladder or if they're just kind of theory crafting a bit here, because I don't think this is a matchup that can be played too many times.
Being down 2-0, this very well could be a risky play coming out from the Yacht Boys, but they got to do something. They got to change something up if they want to be the champions here, but the gates have opened. Here we go.
Yeah, we see mages building up icicles right now. The Sioux sitting at the pillar, just getting full icicles. Leaksy at full icicles as well now. Let's see what they decide to do. We see Zipa just chain lightning everybody behind the pillar, getting some earthquakes out as well, just PVing down their opponents. Frosty's popping his on use trinket. I think Frosty wants to get something done, or maybe that was a misclick because now he's on the run. We see an Iron Bark out from Miley predicting the deep freeze. Well done from Miley. That's going to reduce a lot of damage. And now we see Troljargan responding and trying to swap to the Sioux. He sees that swap coming. He gets out of line of sight. Now throwing out that Frozen Orb to try and reverse the pressure. He blinks in. He goes to the deep freeze onto Fnobbers, but he gets knocked back by Zipai. Nice knockback, but they followed up with a silence. There's a lot of burst over on Elixir and already forced to block, and the Yacht Boys get ahead, forcing the first ice block of the game.
This is quite intelligent by the Yacht Boys. They let Trojargan go first, so they caught them in the middle of the map, and they do get that ice block from Lixi. Well played by them. Thessia is certainly going to be building up his damage. They're going to be looking for their next go. Hypothermia still on Lixi for a bit, but it seems like the best way, because the problem for them is if Lixi is able to just stand in the middle of the map, he'll always blink and blazing speed back towards Fnobbers. So if they let Lixi go offensive first and then they counter go, they're going to have so much pressure because Lixi just won't be able to get away. They're going to keep getting blocks like that. But if Lixi refuses to go in, I don't know who wins this PvE war. It certainly looks good for the Ellie mage right now. We do see the Ironbark on Lixi. Maybe they're going to use this to go offensive. I really think they should. And he's down to 70%. They're just kind of not really doing too much with it. So the Ironbark kind of goes to waste. Maybe the Yacht Boys are going to look to go offensive after that, but they're just kind of sitting by their pillar. Maybe they... I wonder which team wins dampening, because if both teams keep playing like this, I feel like we're just going to go there.
Yeah, I think we are going to end up going there. We see Zipai bursting the Sioux down at half HP with no CC, and that's just kind of Troljargan's playstyle with this comp. Just do damage all the time. Don't worry about CC. That'll happen eventually. We see a deep freeze on Fnobbers. The Sioux not even looking to chain that into anything, and they're not going to accomplish too much, and now they're on the run again. Leaksy's pushing in. He's not going to let them escape for free. The Sioux trying to polymorph him up to stall it out a little bit. Instant dispels by Fnobbers, perfectly timed, and that means that Leaksy can push in now offensively onto the Sioux. We see maybe Leaksy actually wanting to pull back. The Sioux building out full icicles. A Frozen Orb did get dropped. A lot of damage getting tossed Zipai's way. Ironbark NS comes out from Fnobbers to save him. Now a deep freeze onto Miley. Leaxy's looking to maybe get the sheep. Doesn't look like he's able to get it. He gets it, but an earthquake is positioned right below it, and that will unfortunately break the sheep. and now Miley's team should be able to recover pretty easily as a result. We see a double fear onto the DPS, a deep freeze onto Fnobbers, a silence onto Leaksies to try and cover for the polymorph. They get the poly, they get the bash into Zpi. Great cross you see from the Op Boys. Can they force the second block out from Leaksy here? It would be very important for them to do so. A full clone on Fnobbers. Leaksy surely going to need to block here. Fnobbers actually choosing to trinket instead, and now he's getting re-CC'd on his trinket though. Will it be enough? Zpi is throwing out some off healing as well. They will recover, trading Fnobbers' trinket.
I really like that trinket from Fnobbers. It allows Leaksy to not have to use all his ice blocks, which will keep him slightly offensive. He's going to have both available in 30 seconds. They should be okay for now, barring some weird swap to Fnobbers. But they're trying to play offensive, and the Yacht Boys are just playing so defensive. They're so scared of this PvE damage. But I do feel like the Yacht Boys will have the advantage if the game keeps going. Fessia now blinking and trying to get that CC on Fnobbers. It does get stopped, but an excellent follow-up clone from Miley, identifying that Fessia was not going to get his CC there. And they're trying to get as much damage onto Leaksy as possible. We need to see a sheep off this from Fessia. He's going for it. He does land that sheep, but Leaksy's doing an excellent job of just trying to kite away. He's down to 50%. He does try to get that invis off. He doesn't quite get it though, unfortunately. But it looks like he's going to be fine anyways. Fnobbers getting out of that CC. And it does look like the Yacht Boys are doing an excellent job of, like we said, they're just sitting back, and then when they had the opportunity to get that set up, they go out. But as soon as they don't get the kill, they're straight back to that pillar. Look at Frosty's position. Look at Thessia. They're hugging the pillar so hard. And I feel like in dampening, this might be the way they win it. But having said that, the full sheep lands onto Miley. He has to trinket out of that. The armbar comes out. It might not be enough. Disperse might be forced here. Disperse is forced on Frosty. That's no cooldowns pretty much left. They forced everything there, Trolljargen, in one good setup. If they could just push in like that again, they'll probably kill the Yacht Boys in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, Trolljargen are in a dominating position, now forcing the Sioux to block. Frosty looking for a pre-MD. He MDs the clone, really well done, breaking up Miley's CC. Miley needs to recover here. We see a bash on Leaksy, double fear onto the DPS, deep freeze over onto Fnobbers, but they don't get the Ring of Frost. Leaksy trinkets out, interrupts the Ring of Frost, breaks Fnobbers out, and now Trolljargen need to bring aggression towards the Yacht Boys. They can easily get a kill here with no trinket on Miley and no dispersion on Frosty. Frosty getting bashed up, and he's going to trinket right out of that stun. It looks like both teams are just teeing off. Zpi is going to knock everybody away from the pillar. It's time to tee off. It's lava burst time. Frosty getting bursted down to 30%. A lot of damage following it up. If they have a deep freeze, I'm surprised they're not just using it on the Miley. I think they could kill with only a deep freeze over on the Miley. Leaksy's looking for the sheep, but he gets stopped. He blinks out. He's trying to go for it again, but Miley's doing a good job pre-shifting and avoiding getting sheeped. Well done from Miley, not getting caught out there. It could have been deadly if he did. It seems like Zpi is still going after him. Lava burst after lava burst, down to half HP. Miley needs to get some hots rolling here. He's trying desperately. Zpi trinketing offensively here out of the bash. He's looking to try and end the game. Earthquake stuns over onto Miley. It looks like they might even just PvE all three targets. Maybe see a flame shock on Miley. There's a flame shock on Miley. They're just going to attack whoever they can, I think, at this point. And I think that's smart from Trolljargen, playing into the strengths of the Ellie Shaman. Everybody down at half HP. A deep freeze on the Fnobbers. They're trying to turn it around, but they don't get the CC. They follow it with a fear, but with no cover. Zpi easily tremors them out, and they force a block out from the Sioux. He's looking for a sheep. It's a defensive sheep, though, and now suddenly the Sioux has no blocks, no dispersion for 19 seconds, no trinket on Miley, and Trolljargen are still in a dominating position. There's really one chance right now for the Yacht Boys, and that's Zpi not having Shamanistic Rage.
Yeah, Trolljargen have just got a taste for blood. All they want to do is run at Frosty, and they might just get him here. The NS comes out desperately on 10%, and we see again that Spectral-Geist. The Spectral-Geist has been so important for Frosty in this matchup. He has avoided Lava Burst time so many times, and of course Zpi kills pretty much every time he does get to do what he wants, but he's not getting to, and now he's getting put into the bash. This is the counter code the Super Tease was talking about. Fnobbers does have his trinket available. That is their saving grace, but it looks like he's trying to hold on to it. That might be a bit greedy. The trinket, they do have silence available for the trinket perhaps, but the NS comes out. Maybe he's going to survive here. Zpi in so much trouble. The Iron Bar comes out as well. He's down to 30%. Looks like he's going to stabilize for now, but that go means that the Yacht Boys do have cooldowns back. They have Miley's trinket. They have the disperse from Frosty. They have ways of surviving. No blocks on Thessia, but the Iron Bar means that he should be okay. Leaksy pushing in. Zpi will soon be pushing in. He has that Sham Rage available. Fnobbers had to use the trinket there though, so the Yacht Boys do have an opening as we do enter dampening. And a brilliant Rov landed onto Miley, but unfortunately the Earthquake breaks it. We've seen that so many times from Trolljargen, these unfortunate AoE overlaps of the Earthquake and the Sheeps from Leaksy, but it looks like they're just trying to rot them down anyways. Miley's mana is really low. He's down to 15%. Frosty and Thessia are both dropping. Now Fnobbers put into that Rov. Good defensive Sheeps coming out from Leaksy though. Looks like they're going to be okay for now. They're actually swapping it up onto Leaksy, who only has one block available. They may well force it here down to 20%. He does not want to die before block. A good snap there. He might go down anyways. He has blocked. No! He doesn't use it.
What?
He goes down.
Did he get locked or what?
He used cold snap.
I don't
Maybe
think he can
wanted
have,
to
because the CS was still off cooldown. I think he just was a bit greedy. That's
Aw.
really unfortunate. They did not want that to happen, but I guess the fact they're ahead in the series means they still have that leeway, but that's really unfortunate for Trolljagen.
There you have it. That is a down goes moment for Leaksies for Trolljagen, but they do got some games to play with as they're ahead at 2-0. But the Yacht Boys, they got to be feeling a little bit better about that, you know, fighting their way back into this final match. And Trolljagen is going to go down in game number 3. And all of a sudden, Yacht Boys might be able to bring this back with the composition change to the Shadow Priest Frost Mage Restoration Druid.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily that has anything to do with the comp change so much as
yeah.
Leaksy kind of just misstepping.
Oh, absolutely.
They were still looking kind of in a dire situation.
Just look at that damage from Zipai. It's just unbelievable. Like, this is because the Yacht Boys are playing for this kind of dampening game, but Zipai just does so much more damage than Frosty. Like, obviously, it's nothing to do with the players, it's the classes. Like, Elementals do a lot more AoE pressure, but I just wonder what the Yacht Boys' win condition is if Trolljagen don't make those little mistakes and they just play a long game and just dampen them, essentially.
Oh man. What if we went longer into that game? What if they were able to survive, bring it even further to dampening, and get the setups that we saw? Would they be able to find an opportunity to take down this Frostmage Elemental Shaman? I feel like they could. I feel like we've seen it as well. Like we've seen we haven't seen Frostmage Elemental, but we've seen Elemental Affliction Warlock, and we have seen a God Comp somehow, some way. You know, I say God Comp. We call everything that has a Mage Shadow Priest a God Comp. We've seen, you know, the Paladin version of this composition find ways to make that happen, and both these teams are playing at a super high level, so I would not put it by either one of them. And we're going to be going into the next map, which is going to be Blades Edge Arena, chosen by Trolljagen. Blades Edge Arena, are we going to see LSD again? I feel like that's going to be like if it's Blades Edge Arena, they swapped their composition up to Affliction Warlock Elemental Shaman last time, and it worked quite well for them. But this is a different team, this is a different composition, so we're going to have to find out. It is game number 4 on Blades Edge Arena. I'll see you all in a hot minute. Alright, here we go. They are going to be sticking with the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman Resto Druid against the Yacht Boys here. And the Yacht Boys, they're going to be playing the God Comp, which consists of Shadow Priest Frost Mage Restoration Druid. And why do you think they picked Blades Edge Arena? Just because they want them not to be able to run away? They want to just be able to have a wizard fight in the middle of the bridge?
Yeah, I think... Go on.
Oh, it's just Ellie Shaman and Blades Edge Arena are just the fusion. Like, this is their best map, really, I think. And it's just for confidence. They want to get this out of the way and claim victory. It's very easy to just PvE all 3 targets on top, and then they can safely sit above and AoE them from the bottom as well. So I think it's a smart pick for Trolljagen. We see a lot of damage under the Sue. It might be a down goes the Sue moment here. He's at 20. He had to cold snap before blocking. A huge play here from Trolljagen, just forcing so much damage and scaring the Sue to use cold snap first.
Wow.
Yeah, they actually locked him on Frost there, so the snap was the only option for Thesu. And then they tried to swap the damage onto the Frosty. It didn't look like they had too much leftover damage, but like we said, this PvE damage from Trolljagen, Knob was just able to sit at the back whilst the other 2 DPS just turret into the Yacht Boys. I feel like this positioning's not that great for them. Maybe they should be jumping off, because I don't think this is a PvE war they can win right now. And we do see them jumping off now. Miley and Co, they're all just going to lost around that pillar. But the Frosty drops so low, he has to pop the dispersion. Insane damage coming out from Zipai there, dropping him down to about 20%, and Frosty just gets so scared. They're so far behind right now. They need this pillar. They just need to play out how they did in the last game. Play by the pillar. A Fear comes out, but it only hits Leaksy. They're trying to set up onto Zipai. Lixie will sit through that the fear full, but they're not getting too much damage onto Zipa. A nice clone comes out onto the Iron Bark, but Shamrage is still available. All trinkets Fnobber's trinkets are still available. They didn't force too many cooldowns there, and now Trolljagen are going to be looking to go offensive. It looks like Frosty is their target of choice. A nice Hex comes out onto Thessia, but there's no cover on Miley, unfortunately. The Deep Freeze comes out, but it's a little bit late. Can they get the follow-up? It doesn't look like it. He's in the orb. There's no CC available. Frosty with an excellent Spectral Guise. Once again, these Spectral Guises are saving his life time and time again. He's going to stabilize for now up to 80%, and we can look for the Yacht Boys trying to get offensive now.
Yep, definitely. We see triple Flame Shock for Zipai, so he's going to be getting a lot of Lava Bursts right now. He's just launching them one after another. We see a setup actually onto Zipai as they land a full sheep onto Fnobbers. Shamanistic Rage is going to get traded out for this setup, a very clean trade for Trolljagen. They're trying to get some momentum here with a Deep Freeze Sheep of their own onto Miley, and the Sioux is just in stealth on the other side of the map, doing a great job kiting. They're forced to hit Frosty, but they're not even really forced to. They just like to hit whatever, and he's taking quite a bit of damage. Miley's forced to use his Iron Bark that will reduce a lot of this damage, and he should be able to recover. Looking for a clone now onto Leaksy. The Sioux has his Deep Freeze. Is he going to go for the play is the question. He could set up a good chain here. They've got their Horrify now. Deep Freeze onto Fnobbers. Horrify over onto Zipai. Can they follow up? The Bash out of the Horrify would be very important here. Doesn't look like they can. And there's the Bash onto Zipai. He's just going to trinket right away. And they don't get any more CC on Fnobbers. So he's going to deflect the damage very easily right now. And we can see them building up a bit of momentum. And the Sioux sees it coming. He gets back to the pillar. Frosty's, though, not able to follow it. He's bashed up, caught in the open. And Zipai says hello. Fulminate proc on a Frosty. But Miley was able to Shadow Meld, I think, and avoid CC. So nice Shadow Meld from Miley, keeping his hots rolling on his team, trying to get them topped off, trying to get some momentum now into Leaksy as a lot of bursts is following it up. A silence on the Fnobbers. This could easily be his ice block. He's trying to go for an invisibility of his own here, trying to get out of line of sight. And it seems like with no more CC on Fnobbers that Leaksy will recover just fine.
Yeah, well kited there by Leaksy to avoid having to use his first ice block. And in the mix of that, they did actually get Miley's trinket. So they do have a little bit of pressure on the Yacht Boys, but they do have both blocks under spells available. So both teams looking quite stable right now. And Leaksy just trying to get as much damage as possible. But I really like this positioning from the Yacht Boys. I think maybe Trolljagen didn't expect this. They thought they were going to get that PvE battle up top, but intelligently the Yacht Boys jumped down, early identifying that they need that LOS to win the game. And now Leaksy trying to push him for CC. He once again gets stopped. Prophecy doing an excellent job as always, and he does land the sheep, but again the earthquake stops the sheep and breaks it early, and now they're going to get the counter go onto Fnobbers, the deep into the sheep. That means they can set up onto Leaksy this 3v1 situation. How can Leaksy deal with this time? It looks like he's in a lot of trouble. He's kind of caught up on his own. The fear comes up, a nice tremor from Zipai. It may well hold the block again from Leaksy. Trolljagen doing an excellent job of holding onto these cooldowns. Leaksy doing a great job of peeling himself, kiting when he needs to, and now he can go offensive. The Yacht Boys have kind of exposed themselves here. They've come up for maybe slightly too long. Miley has no trinket available. They're trying to get a little bit of damage onto him, looks like, as well as Thesio, and both players are kind of dropping low, but they are getting back to that pillar. They will be able to LOS the damage. A nice earthquake from Zipai does hit 2 or 3. It's actually hitting 3, and Frosty might be forced into the disperse because that a nice iron bag from Miley just in time to hold it, and now they can get the counter go. Fnobbers put into that full row. Leaksy's down low. He's down to 50%. They should have a silence off this. Looks like they do. The fear and then the silence surely on top of Fnobbers. The iron bar gets caught in between thanks to that tremor from Zipai, and he is just chucking out heal after heal after heal. They cannot force an ice block from Trolljagen for the life of them.
That was a great play by Trolljagen to get the Iron Bark in between that CC and hold on to their ice blocks. But how much momentum can they really get? The Yacht Boys have basically reset in terms of defensive cooldowns. It's kind of just an even standoff as we move into dampening here. Mana is really the only advantage. We see a lot of damage right now onto Frosty, but they're countering it with a Deep Freeze onto Fnobbers, and they land the sheep. Triple CC for the Yacht Boys. Leaksy's in trouble. He jumps off the bridge to try and get away, but Frosty's in hot pursuit to finish him off. We see Leaksy actually Ice Nova rooting Frosty to try and get out of line of sight. Zipai off healing him, but he is going to block nonetheless. Frosty actually choosing to mass dispel the ice block and remove it. Interesting play of aggression here onto Leaksy. How much can they really get done? Looks like they forced the NS out from Fnobbers, so that's a pretty decent trade. In the meantime, Thasia actually had to use a block. I think he was blocking to get CC, so down one block each for both mages moving forward. Could be interesting to see if mana ends up being the deciding factor really in this matchup. The last matchup was kind of just a fluke kill onto Leaksy. We see a bit of damage onto Frosty, but he does have his dispersion available, so he should be all right. He's getting out of line of sight. We see the Earthquake get thrown down by Zeepai, and Miley going for the Stampeding Roar. The Yacht Boys are going on the offense here. We see a pre-Ironbark from Fnobbers. He expected the go, and they're holding on to it. We see some damage now onto the Mage. Thasia, he's down to 40%. A defreeze on Miley. I don't think the defreeze is going to be enough by itself. They don't get the Sheep follow-up, and Thasia should survive. They're setting up some damage onto Leaks. He looks like the Yacht Boys are going in again. Defreeze onto Fnobbers, and he does not have Ironbark this time to deflect the damage, but they do actually land the Ring of Frost, an instant trinket from Fnobbers, and we see the Yacht Boys, they get the cooldown, they run away. They get the cooldown, they run away, just over and over like clockwork.
Yeah, and they actually got a ton of cooldowns there. All 3 trinkets coming out from Trolljagen. That's going to be really, really good for the Yacht Boys. And I wanted to praise them on that kind of play where they go for the Stampeding Roar, they just charge in together. Like, they're such a unit, this team. They've played together so much, but now the Trolljagen are fighting back. They've got them in that spot they like, where they can just get the PvE damage, a nice deep freeze onto Miley, gets Thessia low, forces out the NS. It's not too many cooldowns, but there's a lot of damage still coming. The Ironbark comes out, should be enough to hold the block, but look at Miley's mana. He's down to 25%, and this is such an awkward map to drink on. I feel like the more we go into dampening, the more the Yacht Boys are going to struggle. They have to end the game before that, and they do have the means to do so. There's no trinkets on Trolljagen. Leaksy has 1 block, but they're nowhere near forcing it right now. And now Miley's taking so much damage. He gets deeped on 27%. He has to trinket out of that. He blinks downstairs, but they can die through this. He has so little mana. It's going to take him so much. He pops the skin purely for the damage reduction. So unfortunate that he has to do that. Thessia also had to use the ice block there. They can turn it on him. They can kill him right now. He's down to 20%. A nice shield coming out from Frosty, but he could die for it. The clone comes out. He's down to 2%. Surely he's gonna die here. He does go down. And that play there from Trolljagen, they just have to try bait the Yacht Boys upstairs, I feel like, so they can get their damage going. As soon as the Yacht Boys expose themselves for a few seconds, they do take so much damage, they just go down.
All of a sudden, this team of Frost Mage, Elemental Shaman, Resto Druid just seems so unbeatable on a map like Blade's Edge Arena. And all of a sudden, it's 3-1 in the Yacht Boys. They are down 3 games this week. They have to win 3 games in a row if they want to be the champions. Trolljagen, they got to be feeling good. They got to be feeling ready to be crowned the champions. But the Yacht Boys, the way that they're playing, the opportunities that they're finding, the defensive cooldowns that they're forcing, I really don't think it's going to be a walk in the park moving forward in the other maps to take down Trolljagen. But here we go.
You can see the playstyle difference just on the scoreboard. Like, Leaksy is just doubling the Seja because he's just PvEing more, and Zeepai is almost doubling Frosty as well because they're just focusing on damage over anything else. And it seems to work better for them in this composition. And I don't know. It's the same kind of problem that the Yacht Boys are having with their RMD. Like, they need the game to go long enough, but at the same time, they risk just randomly losing to the Elemental Shaman's burst. So it's just kind of really risky for them. And I don't know if they have a clean answer for this. This is really looking like this is Trolljagen's tournament.
Yeah, I'm so impressed by how Leaksy's playing in these games. Like you say, he's getting so much damage, actually doubling the damage of Thessia, but he's also being trained. Like, he's doing such a good job of surviving. Like, imagine if he had to use block on each of those setups from the Yacht Boys, they would have for sure lost. He only had 1 left at the end of the game, and he was so close to having to block a few more times earlier in the game. It could have easily gone the other way if he just wasn't so good at kiting away, knowing those times when he has to peel himself. Like, he identifies the situation so well, and this team's playing excellently. I'm not really sure what the answer to this is for the Yacht Boys. I mean, they are 1-1 as God Comp, so they do certainly have the win-loss as this particular comp to take the series. It's just unfortunate they started 0-2 down, and now they've got a real uphill battle to finish it off.
Yeah. I believe that you guys, the chat, are probably enjoying this final series of the EU Pro League Tournament number 1 because we are getting a whole bunch of subscribers. We got a subscriber from Firefly93. He has just joined the team. Thank you so much, Firefly. We also got a $10 donation from Blathier, and he says, there are presidents in America, but there are kings in Europe. Blathier representing EU. We also got another subscriber. I'm just going to call the first half of your name because the second half of your name is inappropriate. But thank you so much, Shuttle, for that subscription, man. I appreciate that. We're that much closer to making me eat a ghost pepper. And we also
imagination.
Shuttle one. What's the rest of his name?
It's a type of rooster. It's another word for rooster.
Ah, okay. Well, that's not that offensive. That's just a badminton thing, right?
Oh. Today I learned, me being an ignorant American, I didn't know anything about badminton, but I
Oh, that's
appreciate.
inappropriate. Badminton is bad.
It's
We
bad.
can't
It's
talk
not
about
good
badminton.
mitten.
I
All
hope the
right.
first part of badminton is bad. That's true.
And we also got a $24 donation from, oh man, here we go, Elixia. Thank you so much, Elixia, for that $24 donation. They did not leave a note, but they did complete our entire goal for that tournament prize pool. We hit $2,000 in the very first tournament, and actually we made $2,005. We actually just got a brand new donation. He says, I would subscribe, but you sucks. Well, X Omega, I still appreciate the $5 donation, man. I love you so much. We got another subscriber as well, Shaggy. I'm not going to read the rest of that, but thank you so much, Shaggy, for the new sub, dude, and welcome to the team. I don't believe we have 235. I believe we have more, but for whatever reason, it is currently stuck. So we are closer than 235 out of the 300 sub goal to get into making me eat that ghost pepper, so thank you all for the support. I love you all so much. Make sure to follow us up on Twitter because we are going to be releasing the signups for GCD EU Pro League Tournament number 2 right after this event, so stay tuned for that on the Twitters. Also, make sure if you are making that Legion Calculator PvP build of your favorite class, tweet it at us so we can check it out at GCDTV_. And if we like it, we will retweet you. So definitely do that because I want to see some PvP builds on that WoWHead site, man. Speaking of WoWHead, they are our brand new sponsor. They are supporting the GCD dream to continue what we're doing here. But we also got a holy crow, the subscribers are like flying in now. Oh my gosh, EU Teeth Dan's game has subscribed. Shots being fired from that subscription, but I appreciate that support. We also got another subscriber as well, Gimli 054. Thank you so much, Gimli, for that subscription. Dude, I have no idea how many subs that we are at, but it is pretty amazing. We just got a $2 donation from Mitch is probably something, and it is EU greater than NA. If you guys are hilarious when it comes to this EU versus NA thing. Can't we all just get along? That's what I'm trying to say.
That'd be so easy, wouldn't it?
That would be
That'd
so easy. But yeah.
We really have to work out a way of getting these top EU teams to match the top US teams in like a fair circumstance. I mean, it's a long way away, of course.
We need a LAN, man.
Do that, but, exactly, it's a long way away. But if we could do that, that would just be so nice. A second LAN for the year, just so we can really have that EU versus NA friendly discussion.
Friendly discussion. Alright, but we're going to be jumping into potentially match point as Trolljager, and they're just one win away from taking the entire tournament, and it's going to be played out on Tolvaron Arena. I'll see you all in a hot minute. Here we go. The games are about to start, and we have an RMD instead of the Shadow Priest Frost Mage composition coming out from the Oppo. They're swapping it back to their bread and butter here going into game number 4. They're like, you know what? Our tournament lives are on the line right here, right now. This is for all the marbles. Let's stick with our comfort zone. That's kind of how I feel about that.
I think it's smart. I mean, it didn't seem like it was too different than their God comp. And they obviously were afraid of the Pally version as they did not play it at all. So I think it's smart to go back to the Rogue Mage Druid. It's probably their best shot if they even have a shot here. Troll Jagar and just looking so dominant.
Yeah, Trolljager are looking really good, and we're going to see how this opener goes. Maybe they're going to open up onto leaks here. I would love to see that, of course. And Sap is follow up blind on Fnova, so we expect him to sit it, but he actually does trinket out of that. Interesting choice into the kidney shot. They could maybe get a block here. That would be so good for them if they could. He's down to 20%, 30%. He's going to block, surely.
Whoa.
The DR clone. They actually get the block and the trinket there. So good opener by the Yacht Boys. I'd love to see them just tunnel this mage the entire game. I really feel like that is the answer for this RMD. But we have to see what Trolljager have to say. Trolljager should now be looking to go offensive. Zeepai will have a lot to say in this game if he doesn't get attacked. He's going to do a lot of damage. You can already see him trying to build up the lava burst, but the Deep Sheep does get stopped, and here's the bomb. He's locked on both schools. Lixie can't do anything right now, but a good getting into the bomb by Fnobbers means he can get the Iron Bark off, and he's going to stabilize right now. Gelu obviously getting locked there, and so did Miley, actually, so they're trying to get some counter pressure, but Miley's just getting out the clones, and it looks like they get the Sheep onto Fnobbers out of that cheap shot, very well coordinated between Gelu, Barber, and Thessia, and they might be able to get some more CC. The cross CC is really good onto Trolljagen right now. A full clone. This could be the second block. And it looks like the Yacht Boys are shutting down Trolljagen a lot. They haven't really got anything done offensively.
Yeah, we see a full sheep on Miley. Trolljagen are just struggling to find a damage target right now. It seems like Thasia is going to be the one that's getting hit at the moment as he's dipping down to 50%. He gets caught by an Earthquake stun. Zeepai is looking to finish him off with this Lava Burst. It's not enough. Miley sees it coming. He goes for actually an Ore Mastery Cyclone. I'm not sure where that went. I think Zeepai grounded it. Really nice grounding totem from Zeepai, and Miley's not able to follow it up. And I'm curious if they're going to punish him for that Bark Skin. But there's still a lot of damage onto Leaksy right now. He's on the run. A full clone onto Fnobbers. Deep Freeze onto Zeepai for cross CC. Zeepai's trying to off-heal him. Healing Surge after Healing Surge. Zeepai carrying the game right now, carrying his team, and Leaksy will survive without blocking. Smart heals from Zeepai, and just wasn't able to be stopped by the Up Boys.
Yeah, Zeepai used 50% of his mana there just to keep Leaksy alive, and it was definitely worthwhile holding that ice block.
Whoa!
He won't
That's it!
Forever. No,
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What? Let's take a quick look at that replay to see what exactly just went down there as Trolljagen pressed the
they
delete
must
button.
have locked him on the clone. They must have. That's why he didn't skin, surely.
Oh my
all I can think of.
goodness. Holy crow, dude. Taking a quick look at that replay. I'm actually watching Trolljagen on the back foot as Leaksy's taking a whole bunch of damage, but as you move forward in the game, he catches the Iron Bark, and then this is when they start getting aggressive. You want to keep an eye on Miley, as he is the one who went down for the Yacht Boys. The Orb, the Deep Freeze, that increases the damage additionally, and holy crow, that damage is unbelievable. And there you have it. We now have our tournament champions. Trolljagen, we don't know how to pronounce their name, but we do know that they are the champions of GCD Pro League Tournament number 1. Congratulations go to them. They made their way through that lower bracket. They got all the way here, and they did it. They took down the Yacht Boys, who looked nearly unbeatable. But there you have it. We're going to be moving forward with this tournament. Hopefully, we might be able to talk to these guys. That's hopefully what's going to happen. Is that possible? That we may or may not be able to talk to them, but either way, make sure to follow all of these players up on Twitter as well as Twitch to catch their live streams as well. Trolljagen, they are your champions. Walrix on that Affliction Warlock, Knobbers on the Druid, Leaksy on the Frost Mage, and Zeepai on the Elemental Shaman. Follow them up on Twitter. Congratulations go out to them, but not only them, to the Yacht Boys for making second place. They will be rewarded quite a large amount of GCD points to be able to continue to accumulate throughout the season to make it to that final tournament. And that's a big
What do you think Miley's face looked like after dying like that?
I don't know. I would have been pretty unhappy if I was the Restadru in that situation. It just, like, that's the thing though. Like, Restadru takes a certain type of person to be able to play it accurately, because if you do get caught in a situation like that where you're low, where you just get one shot, essentially, you don't really have that answer like some other classes do. Like Shamans have their Spirit Link, Palos have their Bubble, but a Arrested Druid, beyond his, like, I mean, he could have trinketed slightly earlier, sure, but you can't always anticipate that damage, especially from classes like Elemental, where they just, like, sometimes they have meatballs, sometimes they don't, you know? And,
sometimes it's a spicy meatball, sometimes it's rather mild.
Sometimes it's a little bit hotter than normal, so...
This time it was filled with molten sriracha. But, but congratulations once again do go to them. We did get a few more donations, a big donation from Tis Cool. Tis Cool donated $50. And he says, post a target goal for NA versus EU LAN and I'll gladly support it. Hashtag Dueland greater than all. Thank you so much, Tiscool, for the $50 donation. You actually brought us to the $2,057 out of our $2,000 goal, which we're going to have to increase as we go further on into this season, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that. We also got another subscriber as well, Antigon. Thank you, Antigone, for that subscription, man. You get a GCD, yes, but spam some GCD hypes in that chat for Antigone and welcome them to the team. I appreciate it. We've gotten so much love and support this entire tournament. It's very, very awesome to start off in our EU Pro League season and get all of this love and support. But yeah, we should be getting this guy in on the Discord to be able to interview him very soon. So we have a little bit of time to chat. It's been a fantastic tournament. You know, looking at that bracket and seeing everything that went down, I am quite pleased with the level of play and the awesome gameplay that was provided by all these players in this tournament, and I cannot wait to jump right back into working on tournament number 2 of the Pro League season.
I think it's a bit of a surprise to see SPLYCE's team actually winning it all. They came in with a composition that hasn't been played in a tournament before. They even had Walrix playing in a couple games as well. They used a 4-player roster. I think they played the meta game pretty well, and they've now got a tournament title under their belt, and they can feel pretty confident with that moving forward.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those things that we're going to see some adaptations. You're certainly going to want to tune in future weeks because this is quite a new comp. I mean, sure, it's had some presence on the EU ladder, but in a tournament situation, of course, it's different to the ladder. People are going to work out new things, and I think that RMD and God comp do have the potential to beat this comp. It's just they have to work it out. Like you saw them slowly figuring out maybe Leaksy was the best target, and with a little bit more execution, a little bit more time over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure we're going to start seeing different results in these matchups.
Yeah, something else to be said. Zpi, as the season goes on, there's not that many elemental shamans out there. Maybe he might inspire some new elemental shamans, but finding practice against a frost mage elemental shaman composition might be rather difficult because of how rare they are out there, at least at the highest level. But I don't know. I'm not necessarily speaking for the EU ladder, but how rare are elemental shamans over on the EU ladder? Do you know, Adrian?
I mean, Zpi is certainly the guy that you go to for an elemental shaman, but I mean, when elementals are strong, of course, like any other class, you'll see more and more people reroll to it. Of course, people like Jamie do have the potential to play elemental as well as enhance. There's not too much difference between the two specs, so I think we could potentially see some early mage mirrors going into the future, but it might be a little bit of time. Zpi is definitely hard to catch up to on elemental.
Yeah, there was some technical issues also throughout the tournament, which happen. You know, it's things that just to be aware of and, rectify. And I think a lot of the teams did a great job at doing that. So, moving forward in doing some more of these EU tournaments, I am so stoked to be able to see how these players improve in some real games. But it looks like we do have someone in the call.
We have the damage lord himself, Mr. Worrix. How do you feel about that victory?
Hello. I'd like to. Oh, nice leaks as well. Good.
Congratulations, Warlix, on your victory, man. You guys did amazing.
Thanks.
You had multiple compositions.
On the shoulders of my teammates, though. Very, very good teammates.
Hello.
We also have Leaksy in the call. Leaksy and Walrix has joined the call. Congratulations to both of you guys. Leaksy, man, how are you feeling, man? You are the champion of GCD Pro League Tournament number 1. What's going through your head right now?
What can I say, man? Feels good, man. Just chilling, watching the Twitch chat, watching all the memes,
Please.
having some fun.
All the memes.
Sitting here with my team coach, Walrix.
There's not too much going through his head apparently right now. He's just he's too happy for words. So how do you feel, Worrix? You were a part of that crucial decision by your team to you actually swapped comp when you were 2-2 against the Turbocleave, which I understand was one of the most difficult teams for your team to fight against, and you actually took that final game on Blade's Edge. How did that, or what was going through your mind when you stepped into that game and when you came out of it?
Blade's Edge is a really good map for us. It's LSD versus Turbo. Felt good winning.
Well, that's a good thing.
From our point of view, going into that series, we saw like the Frost Mage Ellie, we saw how close that series was, and how much momentum you guys were gaining, and then all of a sudden we saw a comp swap, and we're like, wait, what? So really having that game knowledge to know that LSD is going to have an advantage against Turbo on that map was a pretty big deal on match point too. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, Zpi made the call.
Zpi made the call.
He's certainly someone that's going to have a lot of confidence in LSD. So,
yeah.
I'm glad you made the call. I'm glad it worked out for you. So.
I have a question for
What
you
was that?
guys. If you guys were to crown one member on your team a team captain, which would it be? Walrix, Fnabbers, Leeksies, or Zpie?
Well, Surprise the captain.
Hey, Sipai, man, of course.
Zpie team captain confirmed.
The one and
Copy
only Sipai got.
Yeah.
that. All right, guys. Congratulations once again on your win. I can't wait to continue to see you guys compete, showing us some variety of pretty sweet compositions. And we're going to be moving forward in the GCD Pro League season. Can't wait to see you guys compete there. Do you guys have any plugs, any streams that you potentially are going to be streaming? Can we see from your point of view the gameplay? Or even Twitters? Shout us all of your social media. And you want to go first, Walrick?
Okay.
Twitch TV/Walrick, I guess. Same with Twitter. Don't really use Twitter. But I made one.
Yeah, we made some Twitters for the tournament, so I'm sure you followed those. I post memes regularly, you know, just chilling.
Leeksi's Twitter has been quite active. I didn't even know you had one. I guess you didn't have one until this week, but
Post some
make sure you
random
guys
stuff.
check that out.
Yeah, make sure to follow Leeksy up on Twitter. It's actually right on the screen right here, so you can actually see that Twitter specifically. Go follow these guys on Twitter, all 4 of them. Also follow their Twitches. I hope to see you guys streaming, and I can't wait to see you guys competing again, but that is going to conclude the tournament for today. It's been an unbelievable series of events. I am so excited at how everything went out, and so excited to the level of gameplay that we got to see today. But that is it. I will see you guys all next time. See you later, guys. Peace.
Thanks for having us.
It was a good time.